All right, so here's what we're looking at today. It is February 2nd, 2021. It is an uptrend day. This is just the MES. These are the trades I took. I'm going to go over them. But if you went long today, you had a high probability of making some money. So let's take a look at what I saw. Before market opened, we had this leg up. I actually didn't go through it to see if there were any trades here. I was asleep at that point, though. And then this looked like it was just a correction, and that is exactly what it was. So you probably could have first entry, second entry, first entry, second entry. If you were being really aggressive, that's not a good signal bar right there. Maybe you would have gone long. And then you get this is a first entry. I kind of looked at it as a second entry, though, and that's why I entered there. And it's kind of like a No, it's more, yeah, it's kind of like a second entry. So you get this first entry, second entry, new high, first entry, second entry, and then I looked at this as going down. This went up, came down. Then we get this good signal bar. This can't be right. How would I enter on that? That's not the low of the swing. But I guess, how was I looking at this? Yeah, it's not the low of the swing, so that's against the rules. I don't know. Something happened with my data earlier, so maybe, I don't know. So that's against the rules. I don't know why I entered there, but it was a good trade. So got my targets filled there. I just don't see why I would have entered there, even though it looks like a second entry. Anyway, we get this new high, first entry, second entry, take that. Obviously, it's a second entry, and we've been going up all night, and unfortunately, this hit my first target and came back and stopped me out, but you would have had a good, let's see how many points that would have been. 30, we'll call it 11 to about 14. So you would have gotten 3 points off of that trade too. So let's move over to the regular ES. All right, so here's what we were looking at for today. Uptrend day for most of the day, and then at about, well, I guess for the morning, uptrend, and then about 8:30 it started going sideways, and right before closing 10 minutes ago, get this leg down, and price is just going crazy now, it looks like. So let's take a look at this. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you get many entries early on. Let's look. So we get a confirmation of this larger trend, and I actually meant to play with that. I'm going to play with this channel at the end. But we get confirmation of these lows here, but we don't get a good signal bar. And I don't see how you could take this, go long here. But anyway, we get this is kind of our first hint that we're going up for the day. There's very little correction in here, and hits the top of the channel down here. Again, I don't see how you could enter that. What is that, a first, second? Oh, so that actually, I'm going to mark that because it's at the EMA. I didn't notice that at first. So that's like a fourth entry, but off of this high, after making a new high, it's like a second entry, first, second. And you could have rode that up the whole way for probably like 30 points or so. So anyway, price comes to near the top of that channel again, come down, bounce. But this isn't confirmation of the channel yet, so you can't just blindly take a first entry, even if you're being aggressive. First entry, so you could look at first entry, second entry, obviously no signal bar. And this is technically a third entry, first entry, second entry, third entry. But it looks like a second entry, first entry, second entry to me. It's off the EMA, and this confirms the trend line. That's why I marked it blue. I would definitely take that if I was watching. Especially since there's room to these highs to scalp out. You could also say that it looks like it is like a pullback off that price level where we had a resistance previously. Let's put those lows like right there. Yeah, I would say that because that's a breakout, counter trend, and then you get this big move up. So yeah, that's like a pullback off that level. I like that. And then we get some support on this price level. Prices bouncing back and forth. This is congestion. I marked this entry. That looks like, it kind of looks like a double test of that level. We make that low here, test it once, test it twice, and it's off the EMA, off that price level, off of the green trend line, and it ticks one tick lower than these two. So people who were going long in here, they got stopped out, and that's why it just takes off. So good move there. Prices hit the top of the trend line, top of this, both this smaller trend line and the day's trend line. Come back down, break this smaller trend channel, get a leg down, then another leg down to a new, or I guess not to a new low. But prices bounce right here. And I'm trying to talk about why going long here maybe wasn't a good idea. Well, it's on the other side of the EMA. We're not sure if we're getting a reversal here. So it broke the trend line. It hasn't made a new high. It hasn't made an attempt at a new high either. So going long here, that's what you still want to do. But it's on the other side of the EMA, so it's kind of, you already know it's a little risky, but it is a second entry, and that's why I'm talking about it. That's the only thing I can come up with, really, because it also looks like a repeat pattern of this. It looks like it could be bouncing off of resistance right there. And in fact, it does do that a couple bars later. But I think you just want to wait for it to get on the other side of the EMA because we don't know what's happening. So it does make this new high, and prices just range for the rest of the day. I don't see anything in this channel. I don't see anything in this channel that you can take. This is too congestive. This is a first entry, second entry. This is a third entry, but it's a trap. It's on the EMA. I don't think I would have had this price level drawn yet. Maybe I would though, because it's like resistance up here. So yeah, this is like a fourth entry actually. You could look at it as a second entry, first entry, second entry. Oh, but it didn't make a new high. But this is a trap. You get that huge bearish bar, and then as soon as it ticks lower and starts going higher, you know people are trapped shorts right here. So yeah, I like that. And get a little micro range here, nothing. I mean, you could look at this bar right here, but look at how prices are being held at that level. They got tested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, once, twice, 3, 4 times. So you don't want to go long into that. Probably would have worked anyway, but okay, here, why is this aggressive? First entry, second entry, first entry. Oh, it's a new high. So that's actually a first entry, but this also looks like a trap, and it's kind of like confirmation of this price level because that's like the third time. Closes on its high. It's aggressive, but it's going into the midline too. Maybe that's why I marked it. First entry, second entry, but poor signal bar, neutral signal bar. However, it's off of this larger trend line for the day. So I like that. That's why I like that. Here we get maybe this is a first failed second entry short. Try and type that in. Failed second entry short right here. And then here is a second entry long right next to it. And they're both off of the trend line. So the trend line for the day. So of course I'm going to take that. This one's acts as a trap too. People trying to pick bottoms or tops, excuse me. They're going short here. They get trapped out. And then one more aggressive. This is very aggressive because it's going into this trend line, the larger trend line for the day. But it's a small bar. It's off of that price level. And people got trapped going short there, so that's why I rocketed up. First entry, I guess you could have taken this as a second entry. It would have gotten filled, but I don't like that. Just because we're now in the midline of the range, but this price, I mean, this channel is getting higher too. Just risky. And yeah, I didn't mark anything short today because there was just an uptrend. But here, it's pretty clear. We're in this downward channel here. Then we make another move down. Now prices are just going crazy. So that's what I saw for today. Let's play with this larger channel. It kind of respected the midline here and there. Looks like it's acting a little funny there too, so I drew it off these lows. Let's see if it makes sense anywhere else. Looks like it might make sense there, and it is respecting it, so I'm sure you can play it either way. Get some nice moves off that. However, that might make this a little more aggressive. Something to think about. All right, well, that's all. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow.